Not all projects make sense, and this might be one of those projects. Really, the only thing good about this bike is that the frame is straight. It's pretty much a mess. When stripping it down, I had a hard time getting the bottom bracket out. I had to use a propane torch and a cheater bar. I did get it apart. You can see there's black paint on the frame, and it's a mess. I knew I'd have to strip it, so I've never used paint stripper before. I thought I'd start with the seat post. I think it turned out well. Stripping the frame took a lot more effort, but I was able to figure out how to use the stripper and get it down to bare metal. And while that was going on, I thought I'd work on some other things. The original front hub was seized up, but I have this new old stock LX hub. Works pretty well. So I went ahead and laced up the original rim and spokes onto this new hub. Then I polished up the old cranks with some Autosol and got a new chainring and cassette for the bike. I think it turned out well. This is a 12 by 32 tooth cassette. The original fork is in good functional shape, but cosmetically it was just a mess. So I stripped off the top decals, which were just totally falling apart. Then back to the frame. I was able to put together this makeshift spray booth, and once it was down to bare metal, did several coats of primer. I think the end result looks pretty good. It did require lots of sanding between coats. And I ended up doing several coats of white paint with sanding in between to get it all smooth. I wasn't able to find the exact decals for this bike, but I really like the decals that I found. I think it looks great against the white paint. And then I did several coats of clear over the decals. Some bike builders might cringe at my homemade headset press, but I've done it this way for years and I've never damaged the frame. Originally this had a really ugly high-rise aluminum colored stem. I didn't like it. I was able to salvage the original bottom bracket, even though the plastic cup just crumbled. When I pulled it out, I do have a aluminum cup that I managed to find and put back in. So this works great, and actually the bearings turn really smooth. They don't make them this way anymore. I was actually pretty impressed with the build quality of that original bottom bracket. The new chainring is a 30 tooth. The cassette, like I said before, is a 12 by 32. This will give me a decent gear ratio for the more gentle sloping terrain in this area. I've used these chainrings in the past and I really like them. They're a Volusia brand. The brakes, the original brakes were a mess. I sourced these black V-brakes. I think they look really good against the white frame. Clean up the original STX derailleur. It just needed a good cleaning and re-lubed. The seat looked horrible on this bike. I had this original GT seat laying around. There's a small tear on the back of the seat, but it functions well, and it's a big improvement over the seat that was on the bike when I got it. In the end, I think the bike turned out well. It's too small for me, so it'll get passed on to someone who hopefully appreciates it for what it is. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I always enjoy reading your comments. Thanks, and stay safe on the trails.